What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock. Brock, of course, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Appreciate them for sponsoring Morning Scone every single day as we move into a new month, the second day of April. For anybody who has been to our offices at Guarantee Media, you've met the inimitable, Her Eminence, Lady Jaguar, Judy Martin Davis at the front desk. Today is Judy's birthday, as she lets everybody know. So, a happy birthday to Lady Jag. All right, let's say some good mornings. Dustin Johnson, Matthew Rogelio, and he's already shared it. Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate Matthew sharing is caring, and I appreciate that. Kirk Taylor, good morning. Are you watching Zoe in there? What?
Baby.
What?
Zoe.
You got Zoe? Oh, you want to see Zoe? Well, that is Zoe. Well, Zoe's in that episode. Well, I thought you wanted to see Zoe. Hey, do you want Rocco's boat? Zoe's in Rocco's boat. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Here we go. So we were scrolling the episodes of Sesame Street, and he saw Zoe. There's Zoe. How about we watch Zoe in this one? And so I started, and Zoe wasn't there at the beginning of the episode. Okay, Drew, this is Zoe, okay? Well, that's Cookie Monster, but Zoe's coming, all right? I promise. I promise. I think he's never asked for Zoe before, but I think he just recognized her, and so he got excited, and he started saying her name, so he wanted me to play the episode. So there's a pretty good chance that in a minute he could be right back here yelling. So just as an FYI. Hey, Scott Bork, good morning. Bob Kubrick, good morning. Hey, Dad. Joe Juba, good morning. Stephen Miller. Jennifer Allen, thank you for sharing. Sharing is caring. And I'm sharing it right now as well. Thank you so much. Let's see. Adam Blake Cheney, good morning. Jay Brabham, good morning. Jay Brabham. We have a Danny Brabham that usually watches. Or y'all, you gotta be, right? Irfan Gamoggan. Chris Barnhill, good morning. Hey, Aunt Mary. I said, good morning. I was excited to hear Drew say my name yesterday. I'll see if I get him to say it again when he walks in here. He's become a parrot. And what's funny, so I was kind of cleaning out space on my phone the other day. And so I found a bunch of old videos of Drew, and I posted one of them on YouTube. And I might go before I deviate. And so then I posted it on YouTube and I shared it on Facebook. So a lot of people who obviously see Drew every morning now that he's almost 5, seeing him when he was 2, I think showed just how far he's come. So that was cool. But I got so many videos of Drew, and they're all on my phone, and I have them saved on a thumb drive. This was so when we were in the hospital with him, I documented everything. I took pictures of everything. I took videos of everything. I journaled. I think I've mentioned this to y'all before. That every night I'd write a letter to Drew, and it was basically just about what happened in his day that day, right? So it was a way to journal and sort of keep a record of everything that happened, sort of medically for him, but also so the idea was that one day when he was older, he could go back and read it and, see what his, first months of life were like. And so anyway, I've got all that stuff documented. As a matter of fact, I mentioned before, that's what that is up there. That's what Dear Drew is right there. The book, Erica got all my files and turned them into a book. One year for Christmas, anyway. But anyway, so I was just thinking, maybe like to have them somewhere else. All those videos, I was thinking about like making a little portion of my YouTube channel, just all those Drew videos, so I have them somewhere else. I don't know, man. I don't know if everybody would want to see that. I mean, a lot of it's, Drew with tubes and wires and... Anyway, I don't know. Thinking out loud, sorry. All right, Tom Grandy, good morning. Taylor Kale, good morning. Leroy Blanchard, got them all again. Brian Wynn. Baseball Tigers got a game tonight. Play at home against Grambling. No Daniel Cabrera. He'll miss this week. They hope to get him back this weekend for A&M. I'm cool with it. I love the idea, actually, to mix and match the lineup, get some other guys in the game. No doubt you'll see Giovanni DiGiacomo in left field. You'll see C.J. Willis at first. That means you'll have an opportunity to DH, probably Cade Beloso, see if you can get him going, or maybe Saul Garza, or maybe Mathis catches one game, Garza catches the other. Maybe like you let Garza catch tonight, and then Mathis catch tomorrow against South Alabama. We'll see how they do it. We got some options. Thomas Morvan, good morning, Matt. Good morning, Drew. He said, Drew, good morning, Matt. Let's talk baseball. All right, let's talk baseball. What you got? Ben Clark, good morning as well. Kirk, what's the record for Todd Peterson drops on AFR? I'm going to call the show one day and just say Cartwright and Todd Peterson for 3 minutes. Well, Kirk, you could do that, but chances are I'll probably cut you off before 3 minutes. That's just not great radio. But yesterday was, I'm guessing you were listening to the show yesterday. After Kendall Rogers came on, we went on a Todd Peterson binge. And I don't know if that's the record, but that would be close. That's got to be close. Bill Gussman, good morning. Hey, Dawn, good morning. Colby Hester, Mario Collada. Shelly Penton, good morning. David Freeman. Let's see. Chad Dupuy, Matthew Shelley. What y'all got? Craig Shilling said he has a parrot fork. Yeah. Drew, I've very much watched and cut down on my swearing with Drew around. I think that probably every parent goes through that, where you realize they hear and they repeat. It's like, okay, we got to nix that. So it was tough, especially with some of the basketball games this year, with the way that they would let leads evaporate and then it would get tense late. Tough. Jacob Wallace, Frankie Schmidt, good morning. Stephen Miller, he's a sharer. Sharing is caring. Thank you for the share, Stephen. Chances LSU is secretly putting together a list of coaching names just in case Will Wade doesn't return. I would say that's 100%. You always have to have contingencies. I think that's in every sport. That is in every sport. So, for multiple reasons, right? So in some situations, maybe it's that maybe your coach isn't doing great. Maybe it's a situation like this. Maybe it's, out of caution in case if he were to leave for another job sort of thing. Attach. Okay. Walk. Okay. He said true. So Steven, yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. And a lot of people have asked if Tony Benford would be that guy. And I haven't been told this directly, but it's impossible for me to imagine that happening. That if they do move on from Will Wade, they'd move on from this entire staff. I just can't see them leaving anybody in place from the staff that, had all of this happen. Did y'all hear Tasmin Mitchell on the show yesterday? I had Tasmin Mitchell on AFR, and he talked about Will and said, it's killing him because he's a basketball junkie, not being around basketball, which is true about Will. Like, he's one of those guys that just eats, sleeps, breathes basketball. Like, that's just all he does. Obsessive with it. And then he said, he understands, but he wants his job back, and he loves LSU. And I asked him that in particular because a lot of people have asked me, hey, do you think Will Wade will have soured toward LSU because of the way this was handled? And I obviously can't answer that. Only Will can answer it. But for someone who's spoken to him since then, I thought it was important to hear that. I posted the clip of that on my Facebook page, but you can go listen to the whole interview if you want to. It's there, so on demand and all that stuff. Let's see. Sean Pumphrey, good morning. Hey, Frankie, good morning. Tom Brouillard, Kip Kippers, Mike Buckland, good morning. Thank you for the share, Mike. Sharing is caring. Malcolm Ogeron, good morning. Adam Penny, what's up? Let's see, Jason DeRoche, Megan Hurst, good morning. Jerry Spurgeon, heard some people do what you're talking about with a private Facebook page of photos, videos, stories, etc., and give them access by a certain B-day. It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. I guess the thing that I weigh, Jerry, it's like I share so much of Drew anyway, so should I just share all that stuff too? It's like where's like the line of, okay, I mean, you all see Drew every day, you know, I mean, whenever we were in the hospital, you know, I had to sort of share every day what was going on with us, and you know, there were days just randomly where I just wasn't on air, and there was a lot of that stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know. So it's like, okay, well, where's the line of what people would want to see? I don't know, and I don't know the answer to that. I haven't given it a ton of thought. But you know, I mean, I got videos of Drew doing like fun videos, like him doing music therapy when he was a baby, and him doing OT. He's got all these tubes and stuff, and the OTs are holding him on this, you know, one of those like ab balls, trying to help him with his core strength. And you know, some aren't as pleasant, where they're taking tubes out of him, or you know, one instance they had to stick a probe down, you know, through his nose down into his stomach, you know, with a flashlight on, as they were, you know, like an ENT was looking through his cavity. And I mean, I had to kind of like sit there and hold him while they shoved that in his nose and down his, you know, it was, anyway, but I have all that, you know what I mean? Some of it's fun, some of it's not, but I wanted everything for him so he could see everything, right? This is not how Morning Scone normally goes. Anyway, let's see. Stephen Miller, just don't understand why we saw Garza a little behind the plate and then poof, nothing. So, I mean, I think they were hoping, well, first of all, they had to bring him along slowly, right? So, I mean, you'd see him for a couple innings at a time. I think it was just, I don't know if you feel the same way, but he didn't appear to be an upgrade defensively. And if he were an upgrade defensively, and the bats are a wash because Mathis is batting 200 and Garza is batting 200, okay, well, give me the better defensive catcher. And so the thought was, okay, we'd see Garza be a better defensive catcher. And maybe it's worth going to look at like the stats, you know, about pass balls and stuff like that. Attach. Hey, Zoe, you want to say hi to everybody this morning? Attach. Hey, can you say hi? Nope, he's on a mission, y'all. He's watching Zoe. Drew, come. Hey. Okay. No, and Steven, I'm with you too, man. The other thing about Garza is, like, you know that kid has some pop and can be a difference maker in that lineup, but it feels like he's got to have something good happen. He's got to have something good happen to spark him. And I think right now for Saul, it's the mental strain of, you know, last year being such a power guy, you know, 23 homers in JUCO, and that's why you were brought here. And then you're battling an injury, but you were DH and you were not hitting the ball. And it's like they're counting on you. And you start to press, and then it's like, why isn't this working? Then you lose all confidence. It's like you need something good to happen for you to go, okay, I can do this. And he's just not getting that opportunity. So if it's like an at-bat here, a spot start there, I mean, unless if you have something happen like what CJ Willis did this weekend, right, where you get your chance and boom, you take off. It's hard for him to do that, you know. But it's just he defensively wasn't an upgrade behind the plate. I think that's the thing that caught me off guard, was I was expecting him to be better behind the plate, and he wasn't. Maybe it's rust. I don't know. Ronnie Dugas, what's up? Thomas Morvant. Let's see. The Bats woke up against State. I think we win the next 5 games. I think sweeping A&M is a really big ask. A&M, in my opinion, I think A&M or Georgia has the best 1-2 punch in the SEC with starting pitching. Zoe Fast? Okay. Okay. There you go. Anyway, sweeping this weekend, I think is a really big ask. But I think they could absolutely do what they did this past weekend. Split the first two and win on Sunday. I think that's very, very doable for this weekend. And the other thing, Thomas, I'll tell you, man, so the Bats woke up against State. A lot of people have said that, and a lot of people have asked, did LSU change its approach or anything? I think at some point, like, you just have to give credit to the other guy. Like, Emerson Hancock from Georgia is going to be a first-round draft pick. Ethan Small is a top 60 pick who's one of the best strikeout pitchers in the SEC. Like, I don't think it's a coincidence that when you weren't facing Ethan Small and instead you were facing Jared Liebolt for the second time in the weekend, your bats got going again. You know what I mean? It matters who you're facing, too. Like, I don't think LSU's... And people say, well, what about McNeese? That's true. I mean, sometimes you go to the yard and you're uninspired and you have bad at-bats and you give away outs, and I think you just assume you're going to win. I think that happened against McNeese. But against State, man, and Georgia, he's facing really good pitching. But you're going to see, as that starts to lighten up, I think you'll see LSU's averages normalize. Let's see. Todd Dupuy, good morning. Kirk Taylor. Joke, wouldn't do that, but it was, the Todd Peterson stuff yet. Ben Giat, James Tyrone, good morning. Scone from Savannah, Georgia. Thank you, James. Not in Nashville today, huh? The Shaver, Matthew Rogelio. Any truth to the rumors that Wade might not see the inside of a courtroom? There was some water cooler chat yesterday saying that this may get settled out of court. I didn't read anything, just office talk. Well, it's worth noting that there's always that possibility. They can subpoena Will Wade and, he could show up, or his lawyers could intervene and he could, not cooperate, plead the fifth and not answer any questions. And I mean, all of that's possible. But as far as being settled out of court, you got to keep in mind, Will Wade is not on trial. So there's nothing for Will Wade to settle in court. He's just being called as a witness for the defense. Because if you remember, the trial that's happening is this guy Christian Dawkins is on trial, and he's accused of bribing coaches. The lawsuit is, it's a bribery trial where Dawkins is accused of bribing coaches to funnel players to his agency once they graduate or once they finish their eligibility. Well, the reason that the defense leaked that stuff to Yahoo, which obviously is not public that they leaked it, but realistically, come on, who stands to gain from it being leaked? The reason they would leak that is to show, okay, listen to these conversations. Dawkins wasn't bribing anybody. This was a symbiotic relationship where both the coach and the runner were in on it, and both were benefiting, and it was a mutual thing. You know what I mean? That's the point that Dawkins' defense attorneys are trying to make, and that's why they're exposing all these coaches to show, look, this wasn't just my client trying to bribe coaches. This was a two-way street. So that's why he wants to call Will Wade, and Will Wade just happens to be the only head coach so far that we have transcripts of. Let's see. So again, nothing's settled, but could Will Wade avoid going into court to testify? Sure. Plead the fifth, tell them you're not going to cooperate. I mean, they could seek somebody else. Lowell Cormier, that's why you better have really good attorneys. Lowell Cormier, good morning. Which LSU basketball players will leave early and declare for the draft? I think Tremont, for sure. Naz Reid as well. Naz will go through that process. And I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, also. Remember, you can leave, or you can go through the draft process, or the combine process, and return. Zoe. Okay. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if you saw Javante and Emmett and those guys declare as well. He's saying hello, Zoe. I wouldn't be surprised if those guys declare and go through the combine process and all, and then just to see, okay, just like Tremont did last year, right? Tremont declared, he went through the whole workout process, And it was sort of a way to meet with NBA teams and say, all right, what do you need me to work on? Where do I stack up? And so then he comes back to school, plays another year. And you can only do that once. So if you declare for the second time, you're gone. So I think Tremont's gone. And I think Nas declares and ultimately will go because I've said this since November, he's going to go work out and teams are going to get a look at him physically and he's going to skyrocket up draft boards and he'll be a first-round pick and whatever. But I wouldn't be surprised if Emmett and Javonte also declare. I don't know this, but I wouldn't be surprised if they declare, go through that whole process, get a bunch of information, then decide to come back. Zoe Fast. Okay, we'll see Zoe Fast. Shout out to Brock, y'all, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Awesome people. They are tagged in this post. If you would like their page, that's awesome. They got sports medicine, of course, all the subspecialties you could possibly need. Pediatrics, as I mentioned before. Hey, all right. How about that? If you're a goofball and you knock over signs. There we go. How about your boy? Ho! Anyway. Let's see. Justin Reyes, hiring Benford would be very Aleva-like, take the lazy way rather than doing a real search. He did get Will Wade. Let's give him credit for that. There's some instances with his hires been out of his control. Like, for example, Joe hired Trent Johnson, okay? That was his first hire. Remember, he had been hired from Duke, but he hadn't officially taken over, but he got to make that hire. So Joe hired Trent Johnson. That obviously didn't work. Because his first hire didn't work, he felt immense pressure from the basketball, inner circle at LSU, Dale, Collis, all those guys, to hire Johnny Jones. And so he hired Johnny, and that didn't work. So the third time, that was a big time Eddie Nunez play was to get Will. Eddie, of course, came from Florida and was a basketball guy and knew Will through all the basketball camp circles and everything. And so Eddie pushed for Will, and they did their due diligence and got that done. And then Eddie, of course, left to become the AD at New Mexico. But, ups and downs, goods and bads. He hired Beth Torina, and I remember when Yvette Girard retired, they had hired Pat Murphy, and that was an Yvette push. Pat Murphy came and took the job, was introduced, and then said, no, forget it, I'm going back to Alabama. So then Joe had to go conduct a search, and he landed Beth Torina, which has been an awesome hire. I mean, that's, in my opinion, unequivocally his best hire. Y'all hear him? What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at? Huh? What are you laughing at? Okay. A big truck. I always looks out that window for a big truck. A big truck. Right, Drew? A big truck. Elmo, happy birthday. You can watch Elmo, happy birthday after your nap today, but you better take a nap. Drew did not take a nap yesterday. Albert's sons. And then Drew got up at 1:45 in the morning today. And then Erica put him in our bed. He rolled around. He rolled around all night. Kicked us and hey. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Hey, Trivia, what's up, man? Good morning. Kirk Taylor, after a few good outings by Moffitt, you see him making his way to a go-to guy out the pen during the weekend. Remember, he did eat up some innings at Georgia for them. So he has pitched in the SEC. I think Clay would be a guy not as a frontline arm that they would count on in a tough spot like a Devin Fontenot or a Trent Vettmeyer. I mean, I say Todd Peterson, but Peterson's obviously had some struggles of late. But Mikhail Hilliard, I think, is still in that group. But I think if you get into a weekend situation where you're up big or down big and you need someone to go eat innings, I think that's Clay. I think he's the first guy you give the ball to in that situation. But he's earned it, man. He hasn't allowed a run this year. I mean, it's amazing. He's really pitched very well. He throws strikes. Was a good question, Kirk. Adam Penny, who would be on your short list now if Wade does not return? I'll steal this one from Lee Feinswalk, but he's right. Matt Painter at Purdue. And I'm not sure you could get him, and it would take probably a Brinks truck of cash, and I don't know why he'd leave that situation, but that would be a guy I would definitely want to go find. Express interest. If you look at A&M, A&M looks like they're going to hire Buzz Williams. They're going to pay him $3.5 or $3.8 million a year. Like, if you're willing to make that investment in your basketball coach, I mean, that's the guy I would want. Let's see. Or do they go the same route they did this time with Wade, where you go get the young mid-major up-and-comer that work with Texas Tech going to get Chris Beard? Maybe you go see about Chris Beard at Texas Tech. I mean, he's in the Final Four right now, but does he love Lubbock? Does he want to be in the Big 12? I don't know. Let's see. Charlie Cavell, Martin Luther Vadrine. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let's see. Chad Dupuy, morning from the snow in Iowa. Randy Dabdu, what's up with 100.3? Hasn't worked in Mandeville for a few days. Thank you, Randy. A lot of people have asked that, and I've tried to answer every time someone's asked. But thank you, because I should mention it more. They were doing some tower work on the station, and so while they're doing this tower work, they had to power down. So it's not a permanent thing. They're working on fixing the tower, which is why you've had low power the past couple of days. So appreciate your patience, but in the meantime, you could always listen online or watch us online as well. Hi.
Hello, Catherine.
Hello, Catherine. Hello, Catherine. Hello, Catherine. It's good to see you. Open. Drew sees Catherine at therapy on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and he loves Catherine. Ooh, does he love Catherine? Let's see. Tom Grant again was a first-round pick. Yes, JT Ginn from Mississippi State was a first-round pick. He was. Rogers Whitlock. Remember hearing broadcasters say Dunn taught Hill a new pitch. Think that's what caused his injury. No, Rogers. If you didn't hear Kurt Ainsworth on the show last week, we talked a lot about arm care, and Mimi's doing it for you. He kind of talked about how if you're like for those freshmen that get injured, he's like that's typically a pre-existing thing. And understand, Kurt's a guy who was an All-American at LSU, a first-round draft pick. He went through Tommy John, I think, twice. Gold medal, Team USA. Now he's the CEO of Marucci Sports. So, and he's got kids that play travel ball. So he's, in that culture as well. It was a really good. If the arm care thing and the injuries thing, we talked specifically about LSU. If that interests you, I would really recommend you go back and listen to that interview. It was really good. Brandon Ray, what's up? Tom Guidros, Charlie Cavell, no Todd Peterson talk, denied. I guess we can talk about Peterson if you want. I feel like I've mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. Like, I think Todd is Zoe. Mimi didn't put the right show on. Okay, Daddy will help you. You want Zoe fast? There you go. Anyway. I think some of Peterson's struggles have been bad baseball fortune. The homer he gave up the other day in the ninth wasn't like, if you watched that Duty Noble in right field, they've got that little cutout of the wall where it turns by the foul pole where it's like 305. So that's where that kid hit the home run. Like, when you hit a pop-up 310 feet and it's a home run, I mean, I'm not going to be mad at the pitcher because in any other ballpark, that's an out. He had one of the guys reached base. Todd threw a great pitch. Kid hit a chopper, like just smashed it into the ground, and Peterson had to kind of over the shoulder it, just kind of the way it landed, and he just couldn't make the play. I mean, that it's one thing if that guy's getting on base from that, as opposed to line drive in the gap, right? Now like the Cal series, that's he just got teed up in the Cal series, but some of his struggles of late have just been bad baseball fortune. It's kind of been a mixture, but you know the counter to that, the answer to that is miss bats. If you throw 98 with wipeout stuff, hit your spots and miss bats and get strikeouts. You put it in play, anything can happen, and that's kind of been the unfortunate part for him of late. Hey, Angel Tompkins, good morning. Deborah Todd, good morning. Danny Brabham, good morning. Charlie, agree 100%. Beth 3 and by far leave his best hire, especially after Pat Murphy did it, no doubt. Blaine Allen, Shelby Kelly, Gilbert done for the year. If so, is he eligible for a red shirt? Unless if they announce something today, not that I know, that Gilbert's done. It's one of those things where it's just coming slowly back from surgery. And could he redshirt? I guess theoretically he could. He could certainly medical. I don't know that he'd want to. You know, especially kind of when you look at the staff next year and you go, okay, Marceau, Hill, Walker, Henry, Hilliard. You know what I mean? You're looking around going, where do I fit, right? And then maybe you finally get Nick Storrs back. You know, you'll have a ton of arms next year. There just might not be many innings to go around. John Wesley Latta Jr., do you believe the whole Will Wade situation is hurting future recruiting? Interesting that you asked that, John, because I actually had someone ask me that question last night, and I do believe that is a super legitimate question right now, because you've got two guys committed for this 19 class, and you're going to have more spots available as well. And how do you honestly go recruit right now when you don't even know if your head coach is going to be there? So I think that definitely matters. And I'm going to get somebody on the show. My plan is to get someone on the show today to address that specifically, like a recruiting guy. There's another one. Justin Reyes. If basketball has possible sanctions coming, will it be hard to hire a coach and recruit? Yeah. I mean, we're just being honest. I think, hiring a coach, limits your pool. The other part of it, I'll tell you, is who knows if sanctions are coming. I mean, sometimes it'll take, at the NCAA, could be a years-long investigation. So I don't know that you operate with that as your North Star. I think you just kind of go for it, right? Shoot your shot. Justin, we are thankful for the tower outage. We get a break from T-Bomb. Is he solo again today? Jordy was sick. That's he wasn't at our meeting yesterday, the Monday morning meeting. Said he came down with some viral things, Chris. So he was out yesterday. Sam Dixon, Dusty Revere, Lori Prophet, good morning. Chris Brewer, good morning. Again, shout out to all the new folks. Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. They are tagged in this Facebook post, so if you would like their page, that is a big, big help. And if you have any need for an orthopedist, please give Brock a shot. They're the best. Don says, how old was Drew when he started walking? He started walking right after his birthday. I think it was last year after his 4th birthday. Or maybe it was after his 3rd birthday. It had to be after his 3rd birthday. Wait, I mean, it was like a week after his birthday. He just started walking. But I think it was a week after his third birthday when he started walking. I don't think it was this past July. Yeah, no. Yeah. So it was his third birthday. A week after his third birthday, he started. So July, August of 17 is when he started walking. Shelby, Cubs made 6 errors last night. No team had more than 4 in the season before last night. It was painful to watch, even though I was benefiting as a Braves fan. I didn't watch that game. I saw the highlights of it, especially like in the first inning, the 4 unearned runs in the first inning. But I did watch some of the Dodgers-Giants last night. And I guess it was Sunday Night Baseball. I watched the Phillies and the Braves. Let's see. Dawn, do you think Cleveland will be a contender with Mayfield, Odell, and Landry? Like a contender to win the Super Bowl? No, not this year. Could they be a contender for a wild card spot? I think so. Especially in that division. You wonder, okay, so I'm not a big believer in Cincinnati. Baltimore has Lamar Jackson at quarterback, so there's turnover there. You're just not sure how that goes. And then Pittsburgh always feels like, they're the cream of the crop in that division, but no Le'Veon Bell, no Antonio Brown, so you lose your 2 biggest offensive weapons. How does that go? I don't know. I mean, it feels like the door is open for them, maybe to get to 9-7 and see 10-6 and see if that's good enough for a wild card. So I doubt that's good enough to win the division, but Pittsburgh always feels like you can just pencil them in for 10 wins. But it's an interesting question. I mean, they drafted well. They made some waves in free agency. I don't think there's any question. Let's see, Dusty. He has to be hurting even in other sports. Every recruiter is going to use it against him. That's true. Nicholas Yiannopoulos, good morning. Shelby, no doubt. I don't see. Shelby said they're the favorite. The Browns are the favorite of the North. Hang on. This came out yesterday. The NFL win projections, so win total. So here we go. Zoe. I know. All right, here you go. There's Zoe. So let's see. So if you're looking at the AFC North, okay, so both the Browns and the Steelers are at 9, and the Ravens are at 8.5. So you have a clump of those 3 teams right there. So I don't know that you said they're the favorite, but they're certainly. It feels more wide open. That division feels more wide open than it's been ever. Just because I think mostly because they've gotten better, right? Because the Browns have gotten better, but mostly because the Steelers without AB, without Le'Veon Bell, and then for what it's worth, the Bengals are at 6. So. Congratulations, everybody. For the first time in the history of Morning Scone, we have made it to AFC North Talk. How about that? That's exciting. Any more? Oh, Kareem Hunt, too. That's right. Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb. Now, Kareem Hunt's is suspended, right? He's missed half the season, but even still. And Dusty's right, Ravens also. How about, this is crazy. That has to be the longest stretch of comments we've ever had about the AFC North. Anyway, all right, that's going to do it for us. We're at the end. Shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. I'm heading up to the studio here shortly. Remember, it's Tuesday. Tuesday's a busy day, so we'll have the Locked on LSU podcast. We will have the Riot podcast with Terrio. That's at noon Central Time. We do it live on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge Facebook page, so we encourage you to join us. Then AFR, of course. So, shout out. Please share this post if you've not done so yet. Also, the Matt Moscona YouTube channel. If you're on YouTube, you have a Google account. If you would subscribe to the Matt Moscona YouTube channel, that would be awesome. I'd appreciate it. So, anyway, y'all have an awesome day, and we'll see y'all for the Locked On podcast here in about 2 hours. Later. Oh, wait, we got to go tell Drew bye. Hey, Drew. Hey, Drew. Let's tell everybody bye.
Bye.
Say bye, Dad Show.
Bye, Dad Show.
Say, see you later.
Shalom.
You want to blow him a kiss?
No.
Oh, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, bye.